Hello, everyone. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Cheryl Arkle.
Jane Tara.
Hi, everyone. What are you reading? It's Thursday. It's 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. It's our very popular segment.
Mm-hmm.
What are you reading? Where you tell us what you're reading and we tell you what we're reading. So welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Jane is back.
Hey, I've been away for 2 weeks. Feels like I've been away for ages.
Yeah, well, the first week was your mum, and the second week you got sick from
Yeah.
visiting your mum.
Yeah. Not from my mum, though.
No, from visiting your mum.
Yeah.
People are coming in. Hello, Sally. Hello, Christine. Hello, Tracy. Hi, Lee.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody, to your favourite segment. What are you reading? We're going to start with Jane because she's talking about Book of the Week with Fiona McCullough.
So,
shall we start with that?
We will. Trick of the Light. And I curled up with this last weekend and kind of didn't really get up until I'd finished it, actually. I really enjoyed this. Fiona has a huge following of readers, and for good reason. She really writes about it's either you or someone you know. Like, you can really relate to the characters and to the storylines. And in this particular one, Erica is newly widowed. She's devastated to discover her venture capitalist husband has left their finances in ruin. And she's determined to save her home and protect her teenage daughters from sort of learning this about their father. And it's a real story about grief. She describes grief really, really well. But it's also that story that is so common. Cheryl, you and I were discussing this before about where a woman who and that's fine. They kind of give over their finances to their husband.
Well, mainly because they're doing everything else.
Yes, yeah. And then find themselves in a situation where they're extremely financially vulnerable afterwards. So I found it fascinating. I think she's got great empathy, and the way that she writes is quite beautiful. So I enjoyed that. Trick of the Light.
Yeah, that's our Book of the Week. Okay, hello everyone. It's What Are You Reading with Cheryl Arkle.
Jane Tara.
Yes, Jane is back. Tracy says it's good to see you back.
Yeah.
Jane.
Hi, Tracy.
Jane says hello, girls. Hi, Nicole. I've just lost Nicole, but she's here. She says I've been reading some YA. Red, White and Royal Blue by Cassie McQuiston. Angela, hi Angela. Marina's been reading JFK Volume 1. That's a big read, Marina. Alita says hi. Natalie, hi Natalie. We love that Natalie's always with us. Hi ladies, I'm reading Dr. Phil's Self Matters alongside Wally Lamb's monstrous novel. I hope you're feeling better, Jane. She is feeling better. Otherwise she would have been
wouldn't be here.
Yeah, she would have been sitting beside me. Vonnie.
Oh, hi, Mum.
Is that Mum?
Yeah, that's Mum.
Hi. I've just finished You've Got to Be Kidding by Todd Alexander. Can relate to the humour. We love Todd. Do you know Todd and I went to the Easter show last Friday and did an event. Hope you're feeling better, Vonnie. And thanks for giving us Jane back.
Yeah. Hi, Mummy. I'll call you later.
Ross is reading The Man Who Came Uptown by George Pelicanos, a crime novel. Thank you, Ross. And thank you for joining us, Ross. Sue says, hi, Gail, those Hamilton sisters. Love the backdrop of northern Queensland. We were talking about sense of place, weren't we?
Yeah. Actually, because she did an event, and can someone grab the Hamilton sisters? We'll show that cover. Actually, it's really, really beautiful. Okay. Yeah.
We've got the lovely ladies in the office. Sue says, hello, I'm enjoying the last painting of Sarah DeVos by Dominic Smith. Yvonne says, hi, Cheryl. Hi, Jane. Reading Snowy Mountain's Daughter. Ebony.
Oh, yes. Yeah, okay.
Ebony currently reading Kafka on the Shore by Murakami. I think Dex here, his favourite author is Murakami.
Yeah, you do.
You do. There we go. And Dex is here helping us out. Okay, I'm going to talk about Nicola Moriarty, not Leanne.
Yeah.
Well, you know that those sisters are so talented. There's Nicola, there's Jacqueline, and there's Leanne. I recorded a podcast with Nicola recently to talk about this book, You Need to Know. She's the author of most recently, there's a couple of books there, but most recently
The X,
which I haven't got, but I've got the others, right? This is a domestic drama. It's really dark. It's about family secrets. It's about lies, fractured relationships, and the ultimate betrayal. Those girls are great at family stories, aren't they?
They really are.
Yeah.
I think you were joking before saying, that there's, I think, 5 or 6 in the family.
There are.
3 of them are successful authors.
Yeah. And the others are successful, but not as writers, I don't think. But there you go. What have you got there, Jane?
I'm going to talk about Mirrorland by Carol Johnston.
It matches your top.
Oh, well, that's why I wore the top, so I could match this book.
Right.
This is another one of those books that kind of, messed with my head a little bit. But what I really liked about this one, it's a very clever book. It's a kind of combination of genres. You have the whole thriller element, this supernatural, magical realism. It's all weaved into this. It's about twins. One of them disappears and her twin has to return to the childhood home to sort of, try and work out what sort of happened. And this Gothic home of theirs, they used to create this mythical kind of land called Mirrorland within the house. And, it really is a very clever read. So Mirrorland.
And did we get the book, those Hamilton sisters?
No, I think
we don't have it. Okay,
I think I might have it on my bedside table. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jane's got it. We'll talk about it
next week.
Yeah. So, hello, I'm enjoying. We talked about that. Where am I? Ebony. We've talked about the fact that she's reading Kafka on the Shore by Murakami. Tracy is reading The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. In Virginia, I'm reading my preview copy of The End of Men.
I cannot wait to read that.
Yeah. So don't forget about our preview program. If you want to be part of the program, Dex will pop the link in, and all you need to do is subscribe to our weekly newsletter, and we will offer preview books almost every week.
Yeah.
And you have to register each time. Okay. Angela said she's reading Cliff Richard's autobiography. Oh, wow. There we go. And Catherine just finished Other People's Houses.
That's done well here.
That's done really well. Suzanne reading The Mother Fault by Kate Mildenhall. We recorded a great podcast with her too. She was really interesting. And it's been a really good book. Jane, not you, Jane, is currently reading Emotional
I've seen Jane a lot on here lately.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Hi, Jane. Lee is reading, this week I read The Grandest Bookshop in the World by Amelia Mellor, enjoyable. Currently reading The Last Goodbye by Fiona Lucas. Loving it so far. Carolyn, hi Cheryl, hi Jane. I'm just starting The Guest List by Lucy Foley for book club. Fantastic. Alita, The Jigsaw Man. Annie, I mean, so many people are reading. They read so much. You guys probably read way more than we do.
Yeah.
Annie, hi. My current read is The Codebreakers by Ali Sinclair, who Jane reviewed recently. Amanda, I found that one in an op shop sale. A woman in my book club read it, and then it was out. Well, fantastic. Lee says, hi, lovely ladies. She says, hello, lovelies. I think she's talking to me.
Hello.
Hello.
Lovely.
Michelle is reading Indelible by Karen Slaughter. Linda is reading anything of Norman Foreman. We've got an event coming up.
We do. So the first week of May, is that the 5th?
Yep, first week of May.
The 5th of May.
So you know about our Facebook event, 8 o'clock. I know you do know because I see a lot of you on those events as well. But 8 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time, an author comes to you live. And last night was Josephine Moon.
Yeah.
Is that a segue or is that a segue?
That's a segue. Yeah. So, and if you didn't see Josephine last night, go on and check it out. We always have the events still there on Facebook. Isn't that a delicious cover?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And she writes such great novels. She really is one of my favourites at the moment. The Jam Queens. And here, listen to this, and then you'll hear about Cheryl and I, our plans for the future. So Aggie is determined to take her cafe. She's an award-winning jam maker, to take her cafe to new heights. She's put the pain of the past behind her, and she gets an invitation to travel across Australia on the Garn with her mother for her mother's 70th birthday and a whole bunch of multi-generation of women from her family. So you get on the Garn without any, internet and digital, and you're kind of faced with each other and all sorts of baggage. But we were talking about this before in our podcast, Book Chat podcast, and we discovered we both love train travel.
And we did not know that. We did not know that about each other.
Yeah.
I recently did a train trip. I took the Californian Zephyr from Denver to San Francisco. It was like, 50-hour train trip. And we got stuck in a storm. And we Do you know, I remember the book I was reading, Bel Canto.
Yeah.
By whom? Who is Bel Canto? Look that up for us, Dex. But I was reading that, and I remember, you know, when that book, and you will all know this because you're all readers, when the moment is that book is for the moment, if you like.
Yeah.
And Patchett.
Anne Patchett, of course, it's
yeah,
Anne Patchett. You know, I love Anne Patchett, and I love that book. So that was a really lovely trip. But we also talked about the fact that we want to do the GAN.
Yes.
And we're just wondering if anybody works for the GAN out there. We're happy.
We're happy to come on.
Product placement, whatever you like.
To do the podcast
we'll do the podcast on the GAN. We'll do anything, right?
Anything.
Okay, all right.
On the gun.
Lee, she recently read The Family Doctor, fabulous, and finished Ruthless Women last night, both great reads. Dallasay, The Extraordinary Life of Sam Hell by Robert Dugoni. Amanda, reading some nonfiction. I love nonfiction too, Amanda. Charles and Ada, The Computer's Most Passionate Partnership.
Do you find that your nonfiction is sort of, you do audio with your nonfiction?
Yeah, a lot of audio.
Same.
I do a lot of audio. I do a lot of audio, a lot of podcast.
Yeah.
Linda's reading The Funny Thing About Norman Foreman.
Yeah.
As we said, Juliet's on Facebook Live coming up. Kane, hi ladies, just finished The Chase and on to Chasing the Macabre. Donna, hello ladies, I've just lost Donna. Let me just get Donna back and you talk. What's your next book?
Half-Life. So Marie Curie's it's a sliding doors kind of story about what would have happened if she had chosen love over a life in science. And it is actually kind of the two lives sort of parallel. And Half-Life is it's such an interesting premise, and it's so beautifully written. It's a really unusual historical, and I mean, as you can see, it's a gorgeous cover as well. It's doing the rounds in the office at the moment, and we're all really enjoying it.
So we talked Linda, thank you. She's reading The Funny Thing About Norman Foreman, and we've got the event coming up. What else have we got? Natalie, the Q&A with Avril was fabulous. It was, wasn't she terrific?
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to reading that, actually. It sounds great.
Kat just finished The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd. Loved it. Nicole says, hello, ladies. She's reading The Midnight Library. Sue is reading The Chase by Candace Fox. Don't we love Candace?
Yes, so
Josephine Moon. Hello, Josephine. Thanks. Josephine says, thanks so much for having me on to chat last night about the Jam Queens. It was wonderful to catch up. I mean, it was a really popular event. Thank you so much. And thank you to you for writing such good books.
Get off and keep writing.
Yes, get off. Go away. Go write.
Go write another one.
Lee, I'm reading The Offing by Benjamin Myers. Beautiful book set in the Lake District where I did a charity walk. He captures it beautifully. Janine is reading The Dry, which I loved, and I also saw the movie, and I loved the movie as well. Mary says, hello. Kim is reading The $10,000 of January. Jenny says, hello, ladies. I've nearly finished The Jigsaw Man by Nadine Matheson. Kathy just finished Light Seekers by Femi Coyote.
Oh, good to hear. That's great.
Great read.
Yeah.
Rebecca just finished Jacqueline Marley's book, The Truth About Her. So good. I've got that, haven't I?
There's a segue for you.
There's a segue.
Yeah.
Now, you know that was set in Glebe, which is where I grew up. I mean, isn't it great to read a book that's...
It's a great setting for a novel, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. Really lovely story. It's social media, motherhood, grief, and cancel culture. She's an author. It's heartbreaking. It's beautifully written. I think this is her first book, and I think we're going to see a lot more from her. It's called The Truth About Her, and I'm recording a podcast with her. Speaking of podcasts, shall we segue to Barrenjoey Road? This is nonfiction. I actually read this, not listened to it. Neil Mercer and Ruby Jones. I got to say, I was, and you will hear my tone in the podcast, I was pretty mad. So was Neil. An extraordinary story. It's based on the ABC podcast, but it's about a girl that's gone missing and never been found, Trudy Adams. But what was so infuriating was that over the years, young women, 18, 19-year-old women, were reporting that they'd seen this van, that, people tried to abduct them, people tried to all sorts of things, and going to the police with a very similar story every time and never being believed. It's just crazy, and that's what makes me so angry. And I wonder sometimes, has that changed, and young women are always going missing. But anyway, it's really well told, so much empathy in this story. And that podcast is out now. Okay, what have you got there?
Well, I've got Wild at Heart by Eleanor Govello. I'm actually going to contact and get the correct pronunciation for that, but she's French-Australian. She tamed 3 wild brumbies, and it's a memoir or kind of a travel memoir. She tamed 3 wild brumbies and did the bicentennial track, which is the longest walking track in the world, with the horses and with her dog, which is part dingo. And I don't think that we've had a really great travel adventure memoir since maybe Wild, you know, where Cheryl Strayed kind of did that huge long walk, because it's, you know, when walking the land like that, a lot comes out sort of on a personal level, and, you know, her connection to these horses and the landscape and everything. And it's just I mean, she's gutsy what she went through to make it to the top of Australia. It took 3 years. Really, really inspiring. You won't find me doing it, but you kind of go, oh, you know, I want to follow my dreams.
We'll put the brumbies on the train and we'll go by a train, right?
Yeah, on the gun.
On the gun. Hanadi, now this is a great comment, and thank you, Hanadi, for this. I've just started Born Into This by Adam Thompson. And we've got Adam Thompson coming up, haven't we?
We have on the 30th. So it's a Friday lunchtime live.
Yeah.
So please watch out for that and come on and watch, because I loved Born Into This.
And he's coming into the office. He's going to be recording live from here.
Yeah.
So please join us for that. And I'm really glad, Hanadi, that you enjoyed that. Leanne just started The German Midwife by Mandy Robotham. And I think you will enjoy that. Tessa says hello from South Australia.
Oh.
Hi, Tessa. Kylie's reading The Second Son.
Oh, yeah.
Hanadi says, I love a book that messes with my head.
Yeah.
Mirrorland sounds right up my alley.
I think so.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Melissa, I'm about to start Nicola's book. Can't wait. Nicola Moriarty, fantastic. Lewis, hello. I'm learning English, listening and reading books. Hey, Lewis, join us.
Yeah.
We will help you with that.
Yeah.
Welcome to our community. I don't think I've seen you here before.
No.
Hey, and hello to all the newbies, and hello to all those loyal people, loyal readers that we absolutely love. And we know that you love this segment. Alona is one of them. You Need to Know by Nicola Moriarty.
Yep.
So Libby is day off reading Excel spreadsheets. Poor Libby. Do you know, Libby, this is so true. When I open an Excel spreadsheet, it's like it's in another language. I can't make head or tail of. I think my mind, my brain just does not cope with learning in that way.
I think Dex could tell you that I feel the same way about them.
Yeah,
right?
So Libby says it's not fun. Luckily, having coffee now and listening to you two, I mean, much better to be listening to us. Meredith, hello, everyone. I'm reading The Surrogate by Susan Spindler. Rebecca, Heartsick by Jessie Stevens, and Bright Burning Things by Lisa Harding, which we talked about last week. Lars is reading, she says, hello, reading, Caleb's Crossing by Geraldine Brooks with Mirrorland coming up next. Can I just say, I loved Caleb's Crossing. I read it years ago and I really enjoyed every word in that book. An unusual story, but really enjoyed it. Natalie, I bought The Chase for my son after all the great recommendations. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's good.
Emma, about to start The Code Breakers by Ali Sinclair. Anne says, hi. Hi, Anne. I think you're joining us live this week because last week you might have missed us. And just remember that I go back and reread all your comments. Too Much Lip, Mary is reading, and Code Breakers. Too Much Lip, what's her name? Lachenko. Yes, that's who's the author. And she's going to be at the RBS. Melissa Lachenko. So Melissa is going to be at the RBS. So if you're in Sydney and you want to come and join us, here we go. Here are the details. It's RBS, which are the Academy Awards of the book industry. Yeah. We're going to be there.
Dolled up.
I haven't decided what I'm wearing. Have you decided what you're wearing?
I have now. Yes, I did get a dress. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So, So anyway, hopefully we'll both look glamorous. We are sponsoring the Book of the Year Award, and we're super excited about that. But you can come along. If you live in Sydney and you want to come along, it's a great night out. It's the 28th of April, Wednesday the 28th of April, and you can get tickets. Dex is going to put the link in comments to where you can get tickets.
Yeah.
And if you do come along, make sure you come find us.
Yeah, say hi.
And Melissa Lutchenko is going to be there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Dixie, I'm reading The Saddler Boys by Fiona Palmer and The Codebreakers for book club. Terry is reading Bruni by Heather Rose. We love Heather from Tassie. Dixie just watched Josephine, and she was great. She is great. Anne is reading Something to Hide by Fleur McDonald. I think that is, not Flower. A little bit of a typo, and that's a good one. It's a great read. Thank you. Tracy, Josephine's latest book is great. I really enjoyed it. Susan just finished Burial Rites. Yeah. Suzanne's gone. Bye, ladies. Okay. Are you telling us to go, or are you going?
Yeah, I've had enough. Goodbye, ladies.
Goodbye. Janine says she loved the Jam Queens. So do you want to talk about these while I go and find my place? Okay.
The Castaways. So a disaster survival about two sisters. Oh, yes. Okay, so they've had an argument. They get on a plane. It's one doomed flight, the other finding out what happened years later. Okay, so I didn't read this one. Everyone else in the office has devoured it. I didn't read it because, long-term watchers will know I have a real issue with anything like plane crashes, basically, which is why I catch trains. But it's an absolutely gripping thriller. People are loving this one. And because they're raving about it so much, I have actually taken a copy home because I've gone, okay, maybe I'll have to read it. So I'll let you know next week. Raft of Stars. Two young boys think that they've committed a crime and flee into the north woods of Wisconsin. And the adults in the town are trying to save them. It's heartfelt coming of age, and it's beautifully written. And Dex, was this one of your favourites of the last year? So Dex has actually said it's one of his favourite books in the last 12 months.
Oh, wow. Yeah. There you go. That's a big call. Michelle is reading All Our Shimmering Skies by Trent Dalton. Not as good as Boys Fall into Universe, she says, but, is enjoying it. Alita, my husband and I both love train travel. The Rocky Mountaineer and The Garn were both fantastic. Thank you, Alita. We're going to put that on our bucket list.
In Canada.
Lee, I'll definitely join you. Oh, you want to come to The Garn?
It's going to be a whole party. Hey, let's go.
Let's do a book club on The Garn.
On The Garn.
Somebody get The Garn onto this. Josephine Moon. Oh my God, you must go on The Garn. You'll love it.
Would you go back? You can come with us.
You can come with us too. Monica just cleaned out my bookshelf, feeling so sad but enjoying the given. I do that all the time. I often, actually yesterday I gave away books at my place that I wasn't even meant to give away. But I do that. Jane, I'm so enjoying the podcast lately. Oh, thanks, Jane. I love doing them. Actually, we were speaking to Stan Grant. Will I tell them what Stan said? Yeah. So we've got a Stan Grant podcast coming up. He's got a book out, and I can't find it, but it's about why the world is in the state that it's in at the moment. And I can't remember the name, but I love Stan Grant. Well, actually, so does Jane. I'm not quite sure if we could say this live, but Jane wants Stan to be her future husband. Should we say that?
I definitely have a fangirl crush on him. I think he is like one of the greatest speakers.
But can I tell you this? Stan said that he was so pleased to be on the podcast because he listens to our podcast as well.
Yeah.
And he loves podcasts like we do and loves the Better Reading podcast. So there you go. Well, I mean, that is a stamp of approval, right?
Absolutely.
So thanks, Jane. I'm glad you like them.
I think it's called With the Falling of the Dusk.
With The Falling of the Dust, Stan Grant's book. Okay, Nicole, I've not long finished this too, Jane. I don't know what that was. Mary, I want to listen to that on audio. Something in the Wine by Tricia Stringer is what Jane's reading. Sally Ann, definitely go on The Garn. I loved it. Got lots of reading done and heaps of different people. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Nana is reading Nana, I'm sure Nana is not your first name. You are Nana T, so I'm going to say that. Nana is reading Before We Were Yours. Excellent. What have we got here? Sally's just started Heartsick by Jessie Stevens. Just finished The Garso by Kathy George. I'm so glad that book has been loved by a lot of people because it was Kathy's first book. The podcast was released, I think, last week, and she wrote her first book at the age of 60-something. And that's a really nice story. I love chatting with her. It was really lovely. Sue just finished reading The Royal Correspondent, great book. Kaz about to start Beware of Dogs by Elizabeth Flam. Michelle, I want to read that. We'll listen to I'm not quite sure what you want to do, but Anyway, let's do that. Oh, you want to go on the Garn and we all get on the Garn and listen and do a podcast about that? Now, I don't know how to pronounce this person's name.
Oh no, it's one of those psychics, Cheryl.
Oh, right.
Maybe they could let us know if we're going on the Garn.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's a spammer. We're onto the spammer. Okay, Lee, Wild at Heart sounds fabulous, amazing. I would love to read that, and I've been following her story online. Tracy, I really want to read Wild at Heart. Great. And Hanadi, yay for Adam Thompson.
Yeah.
Yes, and yay for Adam Thompson. Penelope just finished Home Like Ours by Fiona Lowe. Great read. Jane, same about Excel. Jane, we have a lot in common. Okay, what else have we got? Mayflies by Alita. Somebody's reading. Okay.
They're all like
do you want to talk about the podcast?
Well, because you spoke to Katie McMahon.
I did. She is a GP and she's taken to writing fiction.
Yeah.
She's written this book called The Mistake. Actually, you just hold it up for me while I do the
I am, and I actually love this cover.
Oh, I do
think
too.
it's an awesome
but also,
cover.
a lot of you have read it and loved it because I've seen some of your comments. So that's fantastic. But she was incredibly interesting. She loves being a GP and she loves being an author.
Yeah, and it's great. She's done the two. Like she continues to work as a GP and booking in the podcast around her GP hours, which was really interesting. And this is a domestic drama about the destructive power of secrets, basically. Very much worth a read. We really enjoyed it.
Okay, I'm just going to do a few more comments and then we're going to go. Susan is reading One Italian Summer by Pip Williams. Loved the Dictionary of Lost Words, so gone back to read her first novel. And because she's such a brilliant writer. And Cassie's going to start The Dry by Jane Harper. And Helen is reading The Things We Cannot Say by Kelly Rimmer, who we love.
Yeah, and we've got a new book coming out called Moscow. Oh, I'm having a blank on it. Moscow. But anyway, it's out. Kelly has another book coming out
and we're going to talk about it in the next one. Okay, that's it from us. Now, a couple of things you need to know. Go and listen to our podcast because they're great and we know you love them. And we do a book chat segment, which is really funny. And in this book chat one today, we got the giggles, terrible giggles. What else are we going to talk about? If you want to be a previewer, sign up to our EDM. If you want to go to the Arbias, can we put up the Arbias again? If you want to go to the Arbias, get some tickets. There's a link in comments.
Or also on our website.
Yeah. I'm just going to, because Bianca's with us, and I love hearing what Bianca is reading. She's reading Love It.
Oh, great.
Hey, didn't I tell you that you will love that, Bianca? I told you that you'd love it. It is a beautiful book. Emily Maguire. I went to the launch last week. She is just such a beautiful person, and that really comes out in that book. So I'm really glad you're reading it and liking it. Candace, I can highly recommend These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. Absolutely not YA, but amazing. Just finished The Cry by
Warsaw Orphan by Kelly Rimmer.
Thank you, Cassie. The Warsaw, by Kelly Rimmer. Okay, that's it for us. Bianca is also listening to My Year of Living Vulnerably. Oh, my God. Have you listened to the podcast? It was extraordinary. What was his name? Rick Morton. Loved it. Did I tell you you'd love that? But anyway, you'll love it. He really energized me listening to him. But also, we've got to go. I mean, we're just talking way too much.
All right.
Now, listen, for those of you that want to know,
for
those newbies that thinking, oh, my God, I can't keep up writing all the titles, we actually stack them and we do a post. So we take a photo. We stack them, then take a photo. Bianca says, you did tell me and I trust what you're recommending me also. Also, shout out to the cover designer for Love.
Very true.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Absolutely. Okay, that's it from us. See you
next week.
Thursday. Yeah, same time, same place. We'll be here.